So we'll be discussing regarding UML diagrams, tools and activity diagram. So UML diagrams, we discussed that UML diagram, there are two types of UML diagrams. One is structure, one is activity structure, basically which focus on structure of system, focusing on classes, objects, components and their relationships. And behavioral diagram represents the dynamic behavior of system, illustrating interactions, activity and state changes over time. So basically, UML diagram is a visual tool which is used in software engineering, which can model and document the structure, behavior, and interaction of the system. It uses basic standard graphical notations to help developers and stakeholders utilize and communicate and understand complex software systems from their architecture to business. It basically simplifies the explanation of the complex software systems. So you can use Star UML, you can also use Draw.io. These are the two tools which are available, open source tools. You can use them and draw your UML diagram. So what is an activity diagram? Activity diagram basically describes the workflow or behavior of the system. It is basically used in the process modeling and analysis using during the requirement engineering stage. A typical business process that synchronizes several external incoming events and can be represented by activity diagram. They are most useful for understanding the workflow analysis of synchronous behaviors across a process. They are used for documenting existing process, analyzing new process, and finding re-engineering opportunities. So there are basically 4 steps to draw the activity diagram. Step number 1 is identify the initial state and the final state, identify the intermediate activities, identify conditions or constraints, and apply appropriate notations and symbols. So you have to go through these 4 stages to draw your activity diagram. So this is basically how you can represent your initial node, and this is basically how you represent your final node. This is basically activity, control flow, branch is basically like a condition. There are at least 2 paths combining out of the decision, and the condition text lets you know which options are mutually exclusive. Fork is basically splits one activity flow into 2 concurrent activities. Join basically combines the 2 concurrent activity into one flow. The black circle looks like the selected radio button in the UML symbol. This is basically for the end state of an activity, and the final flow marker shows the ending point of a process in the flow. The difference between the final flow and the end state is that the latter represents the end of all flows in an activity. So this basically represents end of all the activities or all the flows. So this represents end point for one of the activity. And this shape is used for nodes. So this is basically the series symbol. So we have an initial node, we have an activity node, we have a control flow node, we have a branch node, we have a fork node, we have a join node, we have the final flow marker, and we have the black circle which looks like a selected radio button, and we have the nodes symbol. So basically you have a start state, you have an activity like receive order. If you remember the fork symbol, this will divide the activity into 2 concurrent activities. One is like fill order and the second one is like send invoice. So fill order is again you have 2 decisions. Either you are overnight delivery or you have regular delivery, and these two are then combined using this diamond symbol merge as well. So branch means you are dividing or you are giving at least 2 options. So he can pick either for rush hour or urgent delivery, he can select this one, or for regular delivery he can select this one. Then you can merge again these two, and then fork is used to combine these two merge activities. And then we have close the order, and then we have the ending state. So this is our start state, this is our activity, this is fork, this is branching, this is join, and this is our ending state. So once the order is received, the activity is split into 2 parallel set of activities. One side fills and sends the order while the other is handling billing. So remember, fork means 2 activities are happening concurrently. On the fill order side, the method of delivery is decided conditionally. Depending on the condition, either the overnight delivery or urgent delivery or the regular delivery activity is performed. Finally, the parallel activities are then combined to close the order. So again, looking at this, so you have a start state, you have an activity, you have a fork activity there which is running two simultaneous activities or concurrent activities. Then you have a branch or diamond symbol which is used for branching, and this branch is used for merging. And then you are joining the two concurrent activities into one, and then you have the end activity. So again, you have a scenario like where you describe student enrollment, that an applicant wants to enroll in the university. The applicant hands out a filled copy of enrollment form. The registrar inspects the forms. The registrar determines the form that has been filled out properly. The registrar informs the student to attend university overview presentation. The registrar helps the student to enroll in seminars. The registrar asks the student to pay for initial tuition. So we have the start activity. You are filling out your enrollment forms. If the enrollment forms are incorrect, you uh, you can either go to the help available, or you can fill the form again. If the enrollment forms are correct, you are enrolling in university. Then this is divided into two parts. So we are using a fork here: attend university overview presentation, enroll in seminars, make initial tuition payment, and then this is merged into a final node. So this is our start activity, start node. This is our end node. This is fork. This is join. This is decision or branch, and these are our activities. So this is basically a activity diagram. So user login, which is our simple scenario. So you have a start node, then you enter username and password, submit user credentials. So either credentials are valid, so it will redirect to dashboard, or they are not valid, so you display an error message. So you go to merge node, and this is the simplest user activity that can be shown using activity diagram. So in activity diagram, you can also use swim lane. What is swim lane? Swim lane divides the concepts of activity diagram with the respect to roles. Like for example, salesperson will be calling client and set up appointment, send follow-up letter. Consultant will be doing prepare a laptop, meet with client, create proposal, send proposal to client. And corporate technician prepare a conference room. So swim lane is a way to group activities performed by the same actor on an activity diagram to group activities in a single thread. So for example, if looking at this figure, you will know that which activities are being performed by which actors. So basically swim lane is used to uh, see the activities with respect to actors. So we have here order booking. So if you look at, we have customer activities, order clerk activities, accounting activities, and shipping activities. So here is another example of ATM use case activity, and then you have a practice examples which you can cover regarding the activity diagram.